Yeah, so the next guest is CASA, which is court appointed special advocates.
Right.
And we're gonna have Josiah and Adriana who are gonna join us. I just wanna, say that you're listening to The Great Give on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio. Ellen, you're doing a great job. We're
Help me,
gonna
Harry, one quick question. So we're zooming onto the radio? Is that what we're doing?
we're zooming onto the radio and onto our social media
Oh, great.
sites. So we're on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch.
Wow.
So we're all over
Wow.
the place right now.
Great.
And people are tuning in and people are donating. I'm happy to see as like we had when Boys and Girls Club was on, I saw that they gained about $1,000 while they were on and stuff like that. It's good to see that we're having, an
Yeah.
impact. So,
Yes. Yes, indeed. All right.
all right. So I'm going to let the guest in. And like I said, the CASA, which is court appointed special advocate.
Right.
Right. They're coming in now. Out of here. All right. All right, Alan, it's all yours.
Josiah Brown, Adriana, Joseph, welcome to the Great Give, the Zoomathon and the Radiothon.
Hello, Alan. Thank you.
Hi, thank you for having us.
All right. So CASA is one of those organizations that a lot of people don't know about, even though I think it's been around a long time. So tell us about it, because when I hear CASA, I think of a Spanish house, but it's not quite that.
Yes, thanks. So it's court-appointed special advocates for children who've experienced abuse or neglect. And though it is well established around the country in 49 states, it's new in its current iteration in Connecticut. There was a 2016 CASA statute that has given us a mandate, and Adriana was one of our first board members when we were originally known as CASA of Southern Connecticut. And just last year, we merged to create a statewide Connecticut CASA, working out of the New Haven court in both what are called protective supervision and foster care cases to help kids in partnership with professionals such as attorneys and social workers and educators. And so maybe Adriana, who until recently had worked with Clifford Beers, kind of an embodiment of one of our partners, and has a lot of other experience in New Haven. Maybe she could tell us why she joined and what she's contributing.
Yes, please do, and go to thegreatgive.org and we put in CASA. Is that the that's what people should go to look for the organization, correct?
Yes, if they look up just CASA, they'll find it, or Connecticut Court Appointed Special Advocates. That's our formal name.
Okay, so Adriana, tell us what CASA does for somebody who doesn't have a clue, like for a bright 9-year-old. Explain what that is.
Yeah, I mean, I think, so first of all, thanks for having us. It's a great opportunity to be here and talk about the work that CASA does in New Haven. And now as we expand across the state, I think what it means, it's really this opportunity to be able to support young children who are, victims of abuse or neglect in the foster system or going through some of that process, and providing them with additional support that may not be provided by the state. So engaging with them, getting to really know what it is that they're feeling, what supports they may need, engaging with after school programs, helping the families, whether it's their family or a foster family, get additional services throughout the state. It's really a network of support. And I think through the training that our volunteers receive, which is very extensive, making sure that children have a voice. I think they are one of our most vulnerable populations, and ensuring that they are being representative and that their needs are being met.
And so the support that the organization provides is both, is it fair to say it's legal support, it's social work kind of support,
Yeah,
other
actually,
aspects?
I'll let Josiah expand on that, but it's the support that our volunteers provide through the connections that they make with other partners across the state. So Josiah, I'll let you kind of add to that.
Thanks, Adriana. Yeah, so we're clear on what the CASA role is and what it is not. We do not intrude on the professional realm of the social worker, the attorney, the educators, the therapist, for example. But what the volunteer does, and this is a proven model associated with better outcomes for kids, they tend to spend less time in the foster care system. Once they leave the system, they're less likely to return if they have an individualized CASA advocate. So that advocate helps build a relationship with a young person, visiting at least once a month, sometimes more, committing to the case for sometimes up to a year and a half or more, whatever it takes to see the case through, and try to find a safe, permanent home where the child is more likely to thrive. So that may mean, for example, attending a PPT meeting for a child who's in special education, or as Adriana was saying, tracking down after school summer programs, early childhood development programs for kids. So it's meant to be kind of a complement as part of a team of professionals, and supporting children and families, because our hope whenever possible is to keep the kids in their home of origin. That's why we're involved in the protective supervision, not just the foster care cases. And if the child is in foster care, then the hope is always, whenever possible, to reunify the child with the family in a safe, timely way. If that isn't possible, then try to identify in concert with the professionals, an appropriate longer-term option, whether guardianship with a member of the extended family, if possible, or adoption with, some other caring individual or family.
So is the CASA volunteer sit at the table when important decisions are made? Is that fair to say?
Yeah. We are empowered by the court, so it stands again for court-appointed special advocate. It is a professional role, although it's an unpaid role, you could say. As Adriana was mentioning, there's pretty extensive training, both pre-service and continuing in-service training, and we get some outstanding volunteers ranging from their 20s to their 70s, from all walks of life, men and women, and we're always looking for more of these dedicated folks to join our movement. And if you're not able to do that, then certainly by donating through the Great Give, or directly to our website, or raising awareness through our social media. We have a YouTube channel with a lot more information, for example. Those are ways you can support us and spread the word.
Mm-hmm. And Adriana, where do the volunteers come from? How do they seek you out? Do you seek them out? Because it sounds like from what Josiah is saying that you've got a whole range of people, age-wise and otherwise.
Yeah, I think it's a mixture. I think it's recruitment, and it's also, word of mouth. Young professionals are really looking to get involved and play a positive role in children's lives. I think we have a good number of college students. We have grad students. We have retired professionals. We have people who are on their second career. Kudos to Josiah for really building the organization over the last year and a half, and strengthening our recruitment network. And I think everybody should really be a CASA volunteer, and I'm saying that because the work that we do is really important. And I think having that impact and that support in a child's life is really instrumental to their kind of life-term success. Something was really loud. Sorry.
We're okay here. Are you all right? So it's so interesting. It's so interesting you say that, because when you said everybody should be a CASA volunteer, I was thinking to myself to say, you mean like it's important for democracy that everybody serve on a jury? It's important for the social fabric for people to understand what happens to families in crisis. Why should everybody be a CASA volunteer?
think we all have a role. I mean, I'll just quickly jump in. I think we all have a role to play in the, success and health of our community and our children. And I think
Right.
this is a good opportunity to engage and do that, whether it's through donating through Great Give or whether it's becoming a volunteer or attending one of our events. I think that is really the importance of making our community thrive.
Right, right. So go to thegreatgive.org and dial in CASA, make a donation. And if people want to volunteer, they could find the route on the site, I assume. And what will they encounter if, in terms of the commitment to learn how to be in this role? How many hours and what kind of training?
Sure. Yeah. So if you email volunteer@connecticut.casa.org, we'll send you all the information. There are about 30 hours of pre-service training involved, roughly 15 of it through our online platform, and the rest through 5 weekly Zoom meetings of about 3 hours each. We've moved our training entirely online, so it's quite efficient. And then once you complete the training, and of course, background checks and an interview, as well as the application, once you commit to a case, it's, as I was saying, around 18 months. At least you need to be prepared for that, because we don't want the CASA volunteer to be another individual in and out of a child's life. And on a monthly basis, it might be around 10, 15 hours or so, sometimes a little more if in a given month there's a court hearing that requires the writing of a court report. And that's one of the expectations, that typically every 3 to 6 months, something like that, there may be an in-court review or other hearing. And the volunteer, in concert with our staff, prepares a report to inform the judge about recommendations, findings, about what might be in the child's best interest, to work alongside with the DCF social worker, the attorney for the child, the attorneys for the parents, and so on.
And does the volunteer, I would imagine in some cases the volunteer could become quite close to the child. I mean, is taking the child to the ball game a part of the picture, or does that cross a professional line?
Yeah, we certainly respect the work of many mentoring organizations, and that's very important to youth development. But this role is distinctive, and there are clear boundaries. So, for example, we do not allow the volunteer to transport a child. And typically the meetings are in either the foster home, if it's a protective supervision case, in the family home, or in some neutral place like the public library or a school or a park. And we also basically insist that there be no more than nominal gifts given to the child, because it is, it's ultimately, it's a court-appointed role, and the aim is to help the child find a safe, permanent home, to build a relationship, but to not raise expectations beyond, what might be appropriate.
Yeah, you used the word movement a little while ago, and I'm just looking at some notes I made. Nationally, as of 2017, 261,000 children were represented by more than 85,000 CASA volunteers. That is a movement. That's a lot of people.
Yes. So, as I mentioned, 49 states around the country have CASA programs, and this year the movement is celebrating its 40th anniversary. So that's one of the virtues of this, because we have evaluation data to demonstrate the effectiveness. We have technical assistance and the training resources for our volunteers, and we have the inspiration, the lessons learned that can come from our colleagues in other states. And in fact, one of our new colleagues, our staff people, that the hiring of such lean staff is made possible in part through Gifts to the Great Give. She happens to have been a volunteer herself, and then briefly a staff person at Dallas CASA, which is one of the most established such programs in the country. So we're benefiting from her having been there in coming to help us launch our startup version of CASA here in Connecticut.
Well, in the final moments that we have, I'm supposed to ask you if there's a song or a poem or a lyric that you'd like to recite, but you don't have to do it. But I'm
came
obliged to
prepared.
ask you.
Yeah, we're ready. So in fact, I had emailed it to Paul and Harry. So we have a song, a rendition of "You've Got a Friend," written by Carole King, made famous by James Taylor. But our favorite version here at Connecticut CASA is by Brandon Sherrod, who is a former Yale whiff and poof, native of Bridgeport, and I think you have the recording that he's done. He's also a professional musical artist.
Okay, you
And he's
sing
a
the song.
Connecticut CASA ambassador, Brandon Sherrod.
There you go. And people should go to Great Give while you sing.
When you're down and troubled and you need some love and care, and nothing, oh, nothing is turning out right. Oh, close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest nights. Oh, you just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Oh, winter, spring, summer, fall. All
you have to do is call.
and I'll be there. Yeah, yeah. You've got a friend. Now, ain't it good to know that you got a friend? 'Cause the world can be so cold.
That was great, but we got to wrap it up.
Thank you, folks.
We have
Thank
people
you.
waiting in line, but thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.